Welcome to Military Spouse World 1-to-1, a weekday podcast featuring a military family shaker and mover, helping you navigate this amazing chapter in life. Here's your host, Dave Etter.
On this edition of Spouse World 1-to-1, we meet with Danielle Trosclair. She's with the Louisiana National Guard. She's going to tell us about being the FRG leader for the National Guard and also with working with CASY MSCCN. Hello, Danielle. How are you?
Doing fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm having a blast. Love doing this podcast. It just gives me chills every time I start one.
Oh, that's awesome.
You people inspire me.
Well, you do as well. You inspire many.
Okay. So now, you are an amazing military spouse, and you are in what area right now?
I am in Louisiana, so we are down south.
Down south. Are you there for good? I mean, what branch of the service do you guys play in?
We are Air National Guard. However, we are an active National Guard family. My husband's AGR.
You could PCS easily.
We can. Since I've been married to my husband and his one PCS we were married for, it was a big one. Our PCS was 45 minutes away. So it was a big move.
That's a big one.
So we moved from one side of the lake here in Louisiana to the other side of the big lake in Louisiana.
45 minutes. That is a long move.
It is. It was a full culture shock.
Wow. Culture shock across the lake. Yeah. If I can understand that, because here in Germany, I found out trying to learn German in the town that I'm living in is a completely different German than the one that's the next town over.
Really?
Yeah, culture shock. I can understand that, 45 minutes.
We went from the traditional, what you hear, the different dialects, I guess, throughout Louisiana. We have Yat. So we went from Gaudolinville to Twang in the country.
Oh, my. That is a big difference.
Now we are nicely nestled in between Baton Rouge, our state's capital, and what everybody knows Louisiana to be of is New Orleans, whereas before we were actually in the New Orleans area. After Katrina, most people in that area got scattered throughout Louisiana and through multiple states. My husband's old unit went for a swim. He relocated for a little bit to another location and then changed units altogether in Clearfield.
Wow.
Then we made the big hop to higher ground.
So since your husband's active guard reserve, that is about as close to active duty as you can get without, being active duty. How do you like it?
It's interesting. You're kind of like lost in between two worlds. We have all the amazing benefits of being an active duty family without the move. However, when people look at the Guard community, that misnomer, I guess, of 1 weekend a month, 2 weekends a year, we're always on. So drill weekends, events, natural disasters in the area, this is our life. Not only in the Guard world do you not have the wonderful opportunity to live on a post and to always be surrounded by your military community, it's even more removed with that from being part of an active community, or having an active duty lifestyle, but not having your military community around you. So this is always life, but I can't go to my neighbor, or he's not home, or what have you. So it's odd being part of that active world and all of the wonderful support that comes with it. With it being so different, you're also extremely blessed. AGR positions are coveted within the Guard. Mm-hmm. And we are very, very fortunate with my family. Both my husband and my oldest are both AGRs. We've made our own little active community.
Nice. Now, I read somewhere that you also jumped right into being an FRG leader.
I did. I thank everyone in the world that contribute to our taxes for paying for my honeymoon, because I was on orders for a new FRG leader training. So, yes, we were married, and on Friday, we left from the wedding and went straight to Lafayette, Louisiana. So we took the 3-hour drive, went to a weekend new FRG leader training as our honeymoon, and then 2 weeks later, my husband deployed.
Oh, my.
So, yes, it was baptism by fire. He thought that though my brother and my godmother and uncle were part of the military community, I was very separate from it. So he thought a great way of learning and getting to know the military life, especially since he was AGR, was to get involved in our FRG.
It is. It really is.
It provided that. What he didn't realize is once I drank the Kool-Aid, I ridiculously drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, I got it all. Went from not only becoming our squadron's FRG leader, but also sitting on our state advisory board, representing all of the geographically separated Air Guard units in the state. Figured if I was going to do this, I was jumping in with 2 feet and really going to make an impact on a new community that I just got involved in.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you should say that, because that's kind of the same way that I did with FRG. I watched Army Wives before my wife joined the Army, even knowing full good and well that I'm not a woman, I'm a guy. I expected that when we got into the Army and we got to our first post, which was Fort Campbell, that my FRG would immediately come knocking on my door, giving me a cake, and find out that I'm a guy instead of a gal. It never happened.
You know, no cake?
No cake, no fruit basket, no bottle of wine, no, hi, we're here to cry on your shoulder. Oh, wait, you're just an Eve spouse. Oh, okay, well, we have this for you and this for you and this for you, and then move on. Nothing at all, because it turns out the FRG that I went into was broken.
Oh.
And it had been disbanded of sorts by the then company commander, and then he was anxiously wanting another FRG to start up, but nobody would step up to the plate until we moved in, and I walked in and said, I'd like to find out about the FRG. They said, oh, cool, you want to be the FRG leader? Well, sure. What does it take? Little did I know, and here I am now.
It's amazing how the FRG provides such a avenue to not only learn about the military community, but to become your community. I mean, it's such an amazing support network. We would watch Army Wives and laugh about of how things were set up.
I understood it was drama. I really did, but it's based in truth, right?
Oh, yeah. It's got to be.
It's like the internet. Everything is true on the internet.
Yes, exactly. And if it's not on the internet, it's not true.
That's right.
If you're not friends on Facebook, you're not really friends.
No.
And if they don't sell it on Amazon, it doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the FRG.
Just like the FRG, that's right.
Right.
Now, how does that compare to your life before the military?
One of the cool terms that I've seen in the UMSOI group is the word tribe. And I really have latched on to that because, oh my gosh, that is such the best description. Growing up in life, you know, you're in high school, you have your cliques or your tribes there, and it follows us. Some of them follow us through adulthood. We have those core relationships that we build in our life, but there's nothing that can compare to the relationships I've built within my military family. Because again, being part of the Guard, it was opportunities like the FRG trainings, or I was just talking to another Guard spouse, Kids AT, so our kids annual camp is coming up. And for so many of the adults that volunteer, that at least a week where we get to all come together and spend time together, we develop these friendships. And from my active duty military spouses that I've developed friendships with as well, it's the bond that you make with your military community is so much, I don't want to discredit my personal, my outside of the military relationships, but it's stronger and it surpasses space. I hate space and time. That sounds so hokey, but it's like, it's just a very unique bond. We all have so many odd experiences or things that you just stop and say, man, you could write a book about that. To where when one of us falls down or if we're having personal challenges, the tribe shows up. And it may not be with a cake, but a phone call or just an email. Hey, you were on my mind. Everything okay with you? It is the best free mental health group that you can come across. Because it's your family. And it's a very difficult thing for people who are not within the military subculture to understand and digest. So I found that it really helped me through a lot of transition within my own life that I needed and didn't realize I needed at the time.
You also work with CASY MSCCN, don't you?
Yes, I do. I am their program manager for the National Guard Employment Network through memorandums of understanding with every branch of the military. Corporate America supports you, CASY, and Military Spouse Corporate Career Network, MSCCN, supports job seekers within our military community. Engine is a specific program that was developed through an MOU with National Guard Bureau. So National Guard Employment Network brings all of the amazing resources that CASY and MSCCN has to offer and targets that directly to the programs that support our national National Guard family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so very near and dear to my heart. We talk about transition from active duty. CASY and MSCCN was originally created because of a need to help active duty military spouses find work throughout PCSs. And then in that transition time, they realized, hey, wait a minute, there's a need within the military component, and CASY was born. So CASY focuses on your military individuals, and then MSCCN is everybody else. Things developed with that. It's not the National Guard need came up. National Guard is for the traditional sense of the Guard. This is a weekend gig 2 weeks out of the year. That's what the presumption is. What happens during your civilian life? How are you fitting in with the particular career you have now and managing both your civilian life and your military life? And there is a huge need within the Guard community for assistance with connecting those employers who desperately want to hire from our military community and matching them with skilled individuals and being able to translate what the amazing skill sets our military has to how that translates into the civilian world. Through CASY and MSCCN and our partnerships with the Guard, we can help bridge that.
I know that I have, in the future, I'll be having one of your founders interview with me, and we'll find out in great detail what CASY MSCCN network has planned. But in your neck of the woods, how would somebody get a hold of you if they're in the Louisiana area? You will handle anybody that's any branch of the military, correct?
Correct.
You're a program manager, right?
Yes, sir. What I do specifically is I connect the dots. Here in Louisiana, for example, the Louisiana National Guard has an amazing employment program called the Pelican Employment Network, and many of our states have their own state programs. California has Work for Warriors, as well as Nevada has Work for Warriors. North Carolina, South Carolina, they all have dynamic and amazing employment programs. I support those teams. When, like Louisiana, when they bring a new team member on, I will train them in the technology that we support them with and go over the tools that CASY and MSC supplies to the National Guard teams that are working with the military community within their state. So we're kind of the back end. We're the set designers, the stage managers, and then we support our National Guard state employment programs on stage.
So anybody in Louisiana, how would they get a hold of you? What's the easiest way?
They can contact me via email at Trosclair@casy.us, or the best way to start receiving those amazing benefits is to sign up online at msccn.org or casy.us. One of the biggest things I hear when I talk to a state or I talk to a job seeker, I came into, and I found out about this when actually my state was being demoed, the resources with CASY and MSCCN when they met with our state's team. And I signed up, not really as a job seeker at the time, but I wanted to bring this back to my unit as the FRG leader. One of the biggest questions I get is, what's the catch? Everything that CASY and MSCCN provides, whether it be a job seeker or a program that's working with job seekers, everything is free. And it's always, what's the catch? You're really going to do all of this for me? You really can connect me with employers, and you're going to look at my resume and help target that resume, and there's no catch? And there's not.
No.
It is such an amazing resource. I'm one of their success stories.
Danielle, thank you so much for joining us on Spouse World 1-to-1. I need to get with you on a later date, and we'll talk about some other stuff that I'm really interested in, but we've kind of run out of time for today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Military Spouse World 1-to-1 is a BDE Productions podcast. The views and opinions of the host or any of the guests are not that of BDE Productions or sponsors. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to Spouse World 1-to-1.